Hello, hello, hello. I don't even know what Thursday. Happy Thursday. How's everybody doing? Are we all good? Are we all happy in the hood? Thursday, Charles keep it real. It's just us today. No fancy schmancy guests. Just me, you, Cheryl. So tell me when you're on, who I've got here. And I've had my roots done. You'll all be pleased to say I'm not offending you with any grey roots today. Like, we've literally hot off the press. I've still got the dye on my head. Like, that's how keeping it real we are today. That's how we're rolling.
Haven't got my bloody things in. There's only you can actually see the grey. Nobody else can.
Well, I don't know. It was shiny white. I did like a little Instagram thing yesterday, and it looked like a white halo around my head. I'm like, we're not using that filter again. I would say, hey, Ved, hey, Wendy, it's good to know. We wanted to talk to you today about development, really, about self-development, what we do, how seriously we take it. Hey, Christine, it's good to have you here. Because it's really important, isn't it, that we, I think from a corporate background, I know my observation was often that people used to wait for the company to tell them what the development was, or to send them on a course, or to make funds available, or and I think I still see and observe that kind of behaviour quite a lot. And when Cheryl and I stepped away from that world into this world, we realised how important it was that we didn't just give our energy and time, but also that we financially invest in a lot of stuff, because where money goes, attention often flows, right, Cheryl?
Absolutely. And I think that's Thomas.
Must be Thomas, yeah.
I think he's the only one that would dare say that and get away with it. I think for us, though, we've always had a growth mindset. So for us to continue that and up the ante, like we've really up the ante since we've had to got into business and pay for it ourselves. I mean, I was fortunate working in corporate. I got my degree paid for. So I got a BA honours degree in business management, which the company paid for. Then I got me level 1 NLP paid for by one company. And then I went to another company because I got made redundant. They paid for me master practitioner course as well. So I had like 10 grand worth of.
Yeah, but you weren't lucky and negotiated it. Like I remember when you did masters, you said your degree, you said like I want to do it, and if I have to pay for it myself, I will. But if I can get it funded, because it was in business, right?
Exactly.
So, and then the same with your NLP. I remember when you were negotiating your move, they asked you about that, and you said like that's part of the parcel, like having the time and all the, you would give it like your own time on weekends. But that
absolutely.
So,
but I think we Donna and I are the type of people, like if we do something, we do it, it's with a happy heart and not at all. Like we throw ourselves in wholeheartedly, don't we? So even though I hated doing the degree, I didn't hate it, that's an exaggeration. I loved going to the classroom and talking about things, but then writing the actual thing wasn't really that good. Where NLP was all experiential. So even though I spent a weekend every month for 2 years there, it was experiential. So I loved it. But we're very much like, particularly even whether somebody else is paid or not, it's your time that you're investing here. So if you go into something, we both are the type where we go in 100%, don't we? Make sure that we get the best out of it.
Kind of thing, do we? We're going because we want to be A students. Like Cheryl she always wants to be the A student, just so funny. and you're not massively auditory either, are you? So like for you, sitting and listening and being taught and spoke at isn't like your preferential style, whereas NLP with cricket was just so much more, like you said, experiential, hands-on, learning through doing. You had assignments to go and do with Graham, and it was more fun, wasn't it?
But she didn't, I mean, she was a wonderful woman. She doesn't run the group anymore now, but she would just go, here's a theory, off you go. And you'd be like, nobody knows what they're doing. And she was so clever. She used to just walk around the room. And she must have been in like her 70s when I got taught. She would just sashay around the room and pretend that she was putting the tea bags in the thing. But she knows she's very good at all senses. She would be able to hear something, a conversation that was happening across the room, and then she would just come over and go, try it this way. Bit like you. Like Donna's got this skill where she can be speaking to someone, so she could have this conversation with me and she'll be able to hear something that's going on in the kitchen. You have, though. You've always had that. And cricket was the same. So you didn't ever feel you were being observed because you would just float around and then pop over and go, try it this way, rather than standing over you looking at you. But you do that. I know we're going off on a tangent here, but hey, John has got this Skillet, and Caleb has it, where you can be having a full-on conversation with me and literally hear what somebody else is saying. Can't you?
And still concentrate on both. Like I'm still there. So like I'll be having a full conversation with Cheryl about something quite deep, and then I'll holler at Neil or whoever's in the other room or whatever and say, no, you need to do X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 and then come back to the conversation that I'm in, which was really handy in corporate. I could be sitting having a conversation and be clocking everything else that was going on as well. So it was good.
Didn't miss a trick.
Didn't miss the trick. Who's seen this? I don't know who this is. Facebook user. I've always struggled with development plans. I am my biggest critic, but actually turning that self-criticism into actionable development plans has always been a challenge. I hope you're in the self-confidence challenge. And the problem is because your standard corporate development plan used to just piss me off. I mean, you can tell Caleb's back at school. It was like, get better at your Excel, get better at your networking, better stakeholder management, better presentation skills. It was fucking shit. And it was so irrelevant as to like you and personally what you needed for your personal development. And it always, always, always focused on the stuff that you weren't good at or didn't like doing. It wasn't the stuff that you great. It was really when I did the course with YSC, which was the first time I was told that I had imposter syndrome. And they said to me, you know, it should be all about your strengths. It should be making it bigger and bolder, because that's what's actually got you to where you are now, not your Excel skills or your P&L skills or whatever. Focus more on them and then look future forward to the roles that you can be in. And if you go on your gaping gaps, absolutely have a working awareness of them, but accept that they'll never be your strengths and build your team accordingly. I was just like, hallelujah.
And honestly, that form that you did, I ripped that off in 3 different companies.
I did.
Like, because it was so great, we literally used it with our teams where we were working. And then, I went to 2 more companies and I'll use the same format with all of the team that I led, which was strength, building on your strengths. And yes, there'll always be gaps. So development plan, it just has this connotation thing that comes with it, but it is about expansion. It's about expanding, evolving,
we never liked it, and we I mean, I hope if anyone's on who's worked with me, like, we never really agreed with it. For me, it was always about get better at the stuff that you're already great at, because that's what will make you stand out from the crowd.
Absolutely.
So for Cheryl and I, we develop our coaching skills all of the time. We develop our mindset skills all of the time. And do we think we're already shit hot at them? Quite frankly, yes. But that doesn't mean that you can't be better. It doesn't mean you can't remember some things that you used to do. It doesn't mean that you can't we want to be the best coaches in the world. Like, we've got to put the work in to do that, practically and theoretically, and always trying to be. It's not the kind of thing where it's like technology where you want to be ahead of the game, but to be known for being great at something, start with the stuff that you're already really good at. Like, don't try and make it something that you don't enjoy for kickoff.
But you can't stand still. So, and this comes back to your big goal, your higher level goal, whatever it is, that comes back to that. So for Donna and I, yes, we know that we're really good at coaching. We're experts in mindset. However, there's always a different model, a different perspective that you can learn by other people. So, and because we want to be the best in the world, the goal of that keeps us then continually, and we'll love it, but it keeps us continually moving and always looking for another way to try with you, our clients, our community. You don't want to hear us just talking about the same things all of the time. You want to hear fresh perspectives. You want us to keep we invest in ourselves for our own development, but for our businesses, for you. We do it because we want to provide the best service, don't we?
Absolutely. You better say my company paid for my marketing degree also. I self-funded my coaching qualification, Kundalini teacher training. I would have liked to have seen your face in corporate where you rocked in saying pay for my Kundalini training.
Yeah.
Oh, Ali, it's you. Sorry, Ali. Why is it making
you? Ali, NLP News Pod.
Yeah, well, you're the person that we get away with saying things about my grey hairs. You get.
The England team need us, Wendy's just saying.
Yes.
The cricket team need NLP.
I don't know. To be fair, I'm not really a big fan of cricket. Like, I'll go and coach them if I have to, but let me get my hands on the rugby team and then we're going to be talking. You might say one of my old boss's personal development feedback to me was, you control your face better. To be fair, I did give that a Cheryl a few times.
I've had it loads of times.
I have a "you are talking bullshit" eyebrow. I used to have one of them. Sadly, it's not as active as it used to be, thanks to Dr. Guy.
One of the team leaders actually said to us, if you could just let us get to the end of my sentence before you start shaking my head at you. I was like that. Not shaking my head, like pulling your face. Like if you just like, wait, I've actually finished even saying what I'm going to say before you let us know with your facial expressions that it's a shit idea. I was like that, okay, feedback.
Really good feedback, but you never forgot it and you remember it.
Exactly. It was a good point. It's like that. Okay, how to make me team leader feel like shit without saying anything.
When you say nothing at all.
Oh.
Yeah.
No. Don't bother even finishing the sentence. No.
But when I'm giving you loads of ideas, you sit there and it's only in your eyes. At least you pretend that you keep your head very still before you beat on the ideas. Oh, I love it. Sarah saying, what are your thoughts on insights personality profiles? Big fans. Love them.
Yeah, love them. Worked with them over many years in different companies, and now because our coaching leadership was in, really I did L&D even though I wasn't in L&D, but I spent a lot of years rolling out insights personality profiles amongst teams. So we'll have to just remember that it's just a label. It's just a way to describe how you may act. It's not the be all and end all of everything, because we all have elements of everything in ourselves. But from a corporate perspective, team perspective, we use them a lot of the time. And it just helped with getting teams to communicate better, to understand each other on a deeper level in terms of everyday behaviors at work. So yeah, I still talk about red, yellow, green and blue now.
We do. Clients, we'll often go, like after our first, we have a longer session with a client. Usually on the first session it can be 2 hours, and we'll say, oh, they're very red or they're green or they definitely got a lot of blue. Helps how better they're going to take in information. What we always do with any insight though, like Cheryl just said, it's a preference, it's a tendency, it's not an I am. You can change it at any time if you choose to, but it's just where you'll default to, especially in the times of stress. And it's good to understand when you're working out of your preference or your colour, it can be very draining. So if you are a sunshine yellow and you like results and you go, and then you have to spend time like Donna and I do in like the detail and technicalities, you can feel very drained from doing that because it's not your preferred style. Doesn't mean you can't do it, but you won't get as much energy from it. So it's good to know from that perspective why sometimes you might feel drained doing certain tasks. It's just because it's not your preferred style. So absolutely. Yvette just saying, amazing advice. Focus on your strengths. You'll only ever be mediocre at your weaknesses. Exactly. Yeah, and I was very, very, like, one of my specialities, as Ali will tell you, is I would build my team around my weaknesses, not my strengths. I was the opposite of having many me's. I always wanted people to be in my team who had, who could fill the things that I knew I wasn't good at. Like Ali is incredible at process and detail and technical and really getting into the customer experience. So it was amazing working with him because I like to know that's done. I don't like to personally do it. Like that's not where my head goes. So for example, he was a real asset to me when we were working together in a company. So know your gaps, but you don't feel like it's your life's mission to be good at bloody spreadsheets and frigging presentation skills. I hated forced corporate development plans, such a paper tick box exercise from the top down, like more real tangible. But exactly, and people they used to say, didn't they, that you knew if it was the PDP, like if BT and stuff, like if the assessors were coming around for investors in people or something like that, everyone had to have a frigging. And it's like just put something in it. I didn't care what it is. It was just a bullshit. Yeah, it was just a ridiculous exercise. I'm loving all the questions today, people. Love. How do you choose a goal to develop towards? Really easy. Just do something that makes you feel excited. Like people tend to think, your goal has to have a financial orientation or a purpose. Like just do it. You are working towards a goal even now. You just are sometimes not conscious of it, and you're working towards goals that don't necessarily serve and fulfill you. So just make sure you're always working towards a goal that makes you feel good, that you have fun doing, that when you've done it, you'll feel a real sense of achievement. Big or small, it doesn't matter. Yeah. I've had a very successful marketing agency career. Yes, you have, Wendy. You're a guru. But never been near corporate. Would never have been able to cope with all the development plans. I like to go with my own flow. Yes,
we know that, girlfriend.
Always found that, hi, Simone. I always found that people don't get me. And how do you deal with working with someone who likes micromanagement? And there'll be a limiting belief around the people who don't get you, Simone. So you will, if that's a belief that you have, you will keep proving yourself right. So there'll be lots of people in your life who do get you, your friends and family and, wider people at work, but you won't focus on them because you have a belief that people don't get you. So every time you might meet 100 people, and if one of them doesn't get you, lots of people don't get me. That's fine. There'll be somebody else to get right after me. But you'll focus on that one person out of 100. It's how your brain's wired. So a change in your belief around, I've got a broad range of friends, for example, or whatever makes you feel good.
Well, Simone, the only really person that it's really important to is yourself. If you get yourself, then the people who want to get you will attract towards you. But do you get yourself? That's the most important thing.
You get you. Do you know what you're about, who you are, what you want? Number one priority. How do you deal with someone who likes to micromanage? This is a whole other life, my darling.
Yeah.
Which, as a brief thing, I would say that's their preference if they've got trust issues and stuff. So I would just try to manage them heavily up front and tell them what I'm doing, when I'm doing it, and ask them how they want me to keep checking in with them and communicating, and not make it feel like it's about you. Just understand that's the preference they have. Especially if you sunshine yellow, you're going to want to explore. They're clearly more blue.
God, oh well, Yvette, I'm sorry in advance if your blue makes you puke.
Carol's blue.
I'm not. I'm red and yellow.
I'm only kidding.
I'm yellow with, and probably my blue's gone up actually, but my main preference is yellow as well. But I do enjoy the blue, but it does drain us if I do it for too long. But Yvette, you're doing loads of blue for us, so you must be freaking sick of us.
Yeah. And I'm quite heavily red, which most people, if you've been around me this morning, you'd be aware of.
Yeah, I think the word meltdown signifies that.
And then I got told to redo my insights and stop laughing at the answers. Wow. To be fair, it came out yellow, so it was a fair shout.
Was that Ali?
Yeah.
Ali, you're not a yellow.
Yeah.
But everybody has yellow. This is the thing to understand. It's just about your strongest ones.
Yeah. Was that me, by the way? My development plan was focused on my weaknesses. I know it's just bullshit, but the good thing is when you learn that, I learned in my first few years in corporate basically how not to manage, and I say that all the time. I knew then that I was a leader, not a manager, and ridiculous exercises like that just used to piss me off.
We love it, Red. Because the thing is, and people, we'll talk about insights, we'll talk a bit more. Red is good. It's when you have the flip to the dark side with it when it's bad. But everybody has to have a bit of red in them, otherwise you wouldn't get anything done. So it's good to have a mixture of everything. It's when it's the negative things. Like if I go with me being strong yellow, I can go into manic mode, which isn't helpful. No. Or if you're in strong red and then you go into direct aggressive, that isn't helpful. So all colours are good. Is there a pink?
Isn't a good card. Like Ali's got a lot of blue. Ali's got a lot of blue and a lot of red.
Is there a pink? No.
No, sweetie. No. But we could create a new insights just for you.
We can't really just look it up. Colours insights. We can't really share things because we're not qualified technically to kind of.
When you do insights, you're qualified to do it like within that organisation.
Yeah.
On, so we can't, unfortunately. But just
before you softened my edges.
Yeah. So we've gone over loving the questions. If you're not already involved,
I'm not. That wasn't what I meant to be.
No.
Deleted.
Right. Just delete the comments.
It's fine. It's just I thought I'd copy and pasted the.
Can
we delete them? No, I'll do it after. It's fine.
On YouTube. Are you going to put the right link on before you share all the company secrets, or? Yeah,
it's just yeah.
It's just a caption thing. Anyway, so yes, if you're not already involved, there are now nearly 400 people in the community for Supercharge Your Self-Confidence, and just such a warm environment, lots of inspiration. People really opening up about how difficult they're finding.
I'm just deleting this off YouTube.
Cheryl. Just deleting it. Jesus Christ, it's all gone. I knew it was going to be like this today. But yeah, so in there you've got people really opening up about why they have such low self-esteem as well, which is lovely, because it's different. One thing trying to say I've got low self-esteem, and another one trying to say I've got zero confidence because of an abusive relationship, or being made redundant, or having the wind knocked out of me through my dating life, or whatever it is. Yeah, so the guys in there, boys and girls, are all being so open. It's absolutely beautiful to observe and to witness and be part of. So I'm really excited, and Cheryl and I are going to be in there live over the next few days, giving a bit of our story as well, because a lot of people in there don't know us that well, and we want to get to know them, and they're being so open that we want to kind of tell them why it's important to us and a little bit about us as well. Hey Sally,
if you go into banners down the side, you've got options to run little tickers, and you just type your ticker in and press show, and it tickers along the bottom.
There we go. You get more here today. Over 400. It's incredible, and thank you so much, sweetie. And we are proud to be in that group and being able to make a difference. And people are saying already they feel better just by being surrounded by people who get them, which is just lovely. So if you're not already, please come on over. Cheryl's put the right link in now. Thanks for that, love.
And Cheryl's ended up messaging Holly saying, can you go and delete it, because I don't know where it is.
Christ, you can't get the staff. It's going to be really weird. Is it too early for wine? That's all I want to know. And tonight we are doing our group coaching. So the Real You Online program, we're going to be in there doing a group coaching with the guys on Zoom tonight. So I'm excited.
Love.
We have to do some writing now and some brainstorming.
And tomorrow you have the wonderful Vet Picard and the wonderful Thomas.
Because we're doing
keeping it real.
Client who's coming over from Manchester, so we're very excited. Watch on social media. I might pop some pictures on.
Right. Have a fabulous Thursday and a happy Friday and a lovely weekend. Join the challenge.
Be good.
See us again.